This is episode 15 of the Growth Tigers podcast. Before we begin today, I want to let you know that this episode is supported by Circo Co-working Space. Yes, Growth Tigers has its first official sponsor. This podcast is for the benefit of the community, so I'll only share things that I think are supportive. Circo is one of those beneficial things. Not just a co-working space, Circo has one of the longest standing startup communities in Ho Chi Minh City at its heart, Viet Youth Entrepreneurs. Their mission is to create a home where creative and innovative individuals can thrive. It is a network designed to help nurture founders, startups, and growth-minded individuals. So if you're looking for a place that you can afford and has an incredible mix of experts, innovators, and dedicated founders, you need to check out Circo. It's located in District 4, just out of downtown. Find out more details and sign up for their newsletter at circo.co. circo.co. Now, onto the show. Hello everyone, this is the Growth Tigers podcast and I'm your host, Brian Cotter. It's my job to bring you the inspiring stories of entrepreneurs in Vietnam to you, wherever you may be. Today we have a very special guest who started their very first business at just 20 years old, has helped organize dozens of events for startups and small companies, and recently launched the first female capital firm for Vietnamese women. Please welcome Ms. Angelia Lay to the show.
Hi everyone, I'm Angelia. So I'm the founder and CEO of For the Girls, first ecosystem to support Vietnamese women in Vietnam and in around the world to support them and empower them to become the entrepreneurs by their choice.
That's great. There's a lot of stuff about your story, a lot of interesting facts about your story that I left out in the introduction. Can you kind of take us back a little bit to that point where you were 20 years old, starting your first business? Fill in the gaps from there to how you got to where you are today.
Sure. Actually, I lived Vietnam when I quite young. So I started my university when I was 16 years old, and then so when I graduated and when I was 19, then starting to thinking about like what is the next in my life, and then so I moved to Singapore, and I really love to as a woman always love fashions, and then when I was turned to 20 years old, like I used all of the money I have from my scholarship and then to open the clothing store in Orchard and the Singapore. After 3-4 months, I closed my business because for me, I'm so young at that age. I don't have any experience for management or for like understand the market or the customer. So for the first business, for the clothing, I very bad fellow for me, and I lost a lot of money. But for me at that age, I learned a lot of things about the customer, about the market in another countries, and not in my country. And then so after that, for the first fellow, I think maybe I don't have the taste for the fashion. I don't have the very strength for the business. So I'm just thinking I need to give up for the business for the fashions. But then so luckily after that I met my co-founder to make another idea training about the stylist when I was 21 years old. Second, the business not happy at all, and then second fellows is because my co-founders and take the idea to go outside and open another company exactly the same. And then so after that, when I was 22, I'm thinking now, okay, I have time to understand about the market, the customer, And then so now I can start myself. I don't need to have the co-founder. But it's 22, and so you still have a lot of things to do. You still have a lot of things to learn from the business. And then so that time I need to have more about the experience about the fashion industry in Singapore. And I'm thinking like, okay, I will open another business about the fashion, but I need to work. And then I start to work for the Cosmopolitan in Singapore. And in the Cosmopolitan, I learn a lot about the fashions how going on in Singapore. And I learned I have a lot of customer. I starting to brainstorm the new ideas for the new business. And then so until now, we focus on to work for like have a two-man product. Is that the first one is we focus on the order, sewing the costume by ordering for the celebrities and for the people working on the media in Singapore. But then so after that, and we want to expand more, and we want to be sustainable more in the fashion industry. And we think about sewing the costume for the film industry, and then we signed the contract with the Universal Studio, and that is a big step of my company in Singapore. And then starting a new journey for my company. And total years we have the company for the first company until now is 6 years. Yes.
Okay. And so by costumes, what exactly do you mean by costumes? What are you making?
For the costume in film industry, they will order for you about, it means like you will go to, like you need to read all of the script of the actor and or actress. And then so you need to imagine how the clothing suitable with the characters of the film. And that is a kind of job, and you need to imagine more. And we focus on creative thinkings about the the clothing for the film characters.
Okay. Is there any character that we would recognize that would have your clothes on?
Actually, we will starting in 2017 and next year, and 2018 and 19, because we just signed a contract for 3 years.
Okay. Wow. So that's a big expansion for you then. So you've obviously had started your own businesses, but you also have had jobs along the way. So how did you get your first job? What was it?
My first job is work for the consulate channels of the Canada.
Okay.
Yes.
And what were you doing there?
Yeah, that's my first job. And I worked like the project managers for the Taylor Force run in Vietnam. Mm-hmm. And that is my first job. Actually, because my background is study international relations and more focused on diplomatic and political. So for the first time, I really want to work more on related to the political a lot, because I have me to understand the government operations, the government policies. So that is my first job in my life.
Okay, so you originally wanted to be working in international relations or maybe diplomacy, right? Mm. But now you're big into fashion.
Yeah, fashion. Yeah. And then so actually we starting with the diplomatic, political, and then after that I moved to doing the fashion industry, and then working for the media, working for the CNN, and then after that I really want to focus to do like the business, but in education.
Okay. So is that where Founder Girls comes in?
Yes, exactly.
Okay. Can you tell me more about Founder Girls?
Yeah, sure. So the beginning is the story for the photo girl is like I live abroad, and so for long times, and I met a lot of the women in different countries in around the world, and I saw like the Vietnamese woman and the Western woman is so different. It's like most of the Vietnamese women is take very high responsibility for family. For family, they need to try to struggle traditional roles of wife and mother, and with the demand of studying and explore themselves running a business, not come back with another. For example, in Singapore, Singaporean women or like Australian women is different. And then so I starting to ask myself, and what is like, how can I change the way they think themselves like that? For beginning, when I start for photo girls in Vietnam, I have the photo girls capital in Singapore, and we're starting with those Vietnamese women, but they live in abroad. We are together to create the folding capital for photo girl. We investing for Vietnamese women in around the world in education, creativity, nanotechnology, and agriculture. But then, so I feel like I thought with the folding partner is like we do for Vietnamese women, but we don't like we invest for many in Vietnamese women in around the world, but we don't have anything to relate to in Vietnam. We still need to invest for Vietnamese women live in Vietnam. And then so I make a decision to come back Vietnam and to starting to folding photo girls. And then because in Vietnam ecosystem for calling the startup ecosystem for female, we still not to have that one. That's why we open to create the ecosystem. We have the for the girls school. It's mean like we want to teaching like the for Vietnamese women to learn about all of the foundation skill for women, and then they study for all of the skill. We need to have those the women need to create their own project, and then at the end after the intake of the school, they need to like pitching and demo of their product, and then so after that we choose the top 10 until 15 good project, and then we will invest for them.
Okay. So I have two main questions then.
Yeah.
First, can you tell us more about your investing program? Where do you normally invest? Are you seed? Are you Series A? And if you can, disclose how much money are you looking to put in?
Actually, we have in the program of the investing, we have two. One is very early stage, and the second is we invest from the Series A.
Okay. And this is anywhere in the world, right?
Yes, but in Vietnam, we more focus on early stage.
Okay. And so for my second question, you say you focus on education specifically for women, right?
Yes.
And entrepreneurship. What would be some of the differences between entrepreneurship training for, say, anyone and entrepreneurship training for women?
Yeah. We have, besides this, we have 12 weeks. We have the program for mentoring.
Okay. It's
a mentoring and coaching one by one. Coaching one by one for the women, and they have the business already, but they have a struggle is about finding how to expand the business. Actually, most of the women in doing the business in Vietnam, they always have a struggle with the fund. And so we focus on to support the funding, but this is a very hard. I'm not only only one person to invest for them. I still have more than 10 people, 10 investors to want to invest. But it's how to help them to overcome 10 investor to understand the product is working. The product is like sustainable.
Okay. All right. So with all these programs, the accelerator, the mentoring, the coaching, the education, which program would you say is most popular today?
I think the mentoring.
The mentoring.
Yes.
How many people do you have in the mentoring program?
In Vietnam, we have more than 50.
50 mentees or mentors? Mentors. So these are people, or mostly women, who are available for small business owners who are women to get one-on-one coaching, one-on-one mentoring?
Actually, we have mentors instead of all of them. Half of them is a businesswoman.
Okay.
And then so we have another women in working corporate, but because they focus on another women about the legal. About like understand about legal, and help them to understand about how to set up the company, and like for the human resources as well, for the recruitment. Yes.
Okay, so let's explore some of the biggest challenges that you've had with Founder Girls. You started in 2014, is that right?
Yeah.
Since 2014, what has been your most expensive mistake?
Actually, we do not have the mistake. But
you have no mistakes?
No.
Perfect.
But we have a lot of challenges.
Okay.
Yes.
So what are your challenges?
The first challenge is to persuade them to like step out of the comfort zone and doing the business, starting the startup. And that's the hardest challenge in the photo girl, because like in most of the Vietnamese women in their own way, like after graduate, they always have to like go to working for the corporate, and so this is a very hard for us to persuade them like, okay, you have the more potential to do the business. They're so scared about failure, and then so they cannot to balance between the working life and the passions, the real passion, because because we need to make a lot of case study, successful case study after they got the investment, and to show to them about like, yes, this is for beginning the story, like not really good, but then so they have it really very good, because they discover themselves. This is very hard challenge in the photo girl facing.
Okay. Let's talk a little bit about you. Okay, back to you as an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
A lot of entrepreneurs, they have to sacrifice something or many things to get to where they're at. What did you have to sacrifice or give up to get to where you are today?
Okay, so this is I have a lot of things.
Okay, well, give me something. The first thing that comes to mind when you say that I had to give this up so I could succeed. What would that be?
Oh, I think the most the most sacrifice I like the time.
Okay, so you had to give up a lot of time.
Yeah, like time and time for family, time for parents, time for husband, and I think this is the most of the things very hard for women. If they have family, they have a baby, they have a husband.
Right, absolutely. So, I mean, we know that you've had to sacrifice something very important, the time. So there has to be something that inspires you. So what is it that you find the biggest inspiration from?
My biggest inspirations is when I was 14 years old.
Okay, what's that?
My parents told me I cannot to become the businesswoman.
They said you cannot.
Yes, they can't say I cannot.
Okay.
Because they think my character at that time is a very quiet, and I'm not really to challenge myself a lot, and I'm really satisfied everything I have. I had at that time. But then, so when I turned 15, so when I starting to leave Vietnam, and I thought and I asked myself, is it like that is the truth? And does it like I can't do the business thing, and I can't become the good business woman? And so my parents closing me in the box like that, and I try to find the answers for myself. And so after that, it inspired me a lot, because it inspired me to find the truth, the answer for my life, and try to discover myself a lot. I starting to study about I learn about the finance. I starting to learn about marketing. I never know about that. And so I read a lot of books related to a lot of people to millionaire, billionaire. How can they do that? And I read a lot of the female doing business and their challenge. And I read a lot of books how to starting the business. And I spent for more than 2 years just learn a lot of things about relate to the business myself, to the book, to the TV, YouTube, and everything. I just want to discover what is my limit.
Okay, so that's been an inspiration to you, is when people tell you can't do something, you go out and you do it. Is that right?
Yes, exactly.
Okay, so what kind of advice do you like to share with people?
Yeah, if I have the advice, so I have 3 for them. The first one is to find your passion. You are going to spend many long hours to working in and honor your business. So just pick an industry that you don't just like, but are passionate about, and that's a very important thing. The second thing I really want to give advice for everyone is that fit your business to your personal goals. Some people looking to work for part-time job to want to support for family income, or some mommy to work for around children's schedules, or focusing on the building full-time business. Everyone to have the goal is money or freedom of the goal, or both. That there's no rule that you have to work a full-time schedule when you run a business. That's a very important thing.
I think that last point is actually really good.
Yeah.
I actually get a lot of questions from young startup entrepreneurs themselves about if they should go work full time first and then go start up, or if they should start up and not worry about the work later. And I think a lot of their concern is about family and about time and about money. And I think what you just said about choosing a business style and a business type that suits the way to fulfill your life and balances what you need is actually really important.
Yes, is it? And also, nowadays, so technology is amazing. So, but embrace technology. Don't let the low of the incoming messages get you off track. Whether you are concentrating on the project or for your work, or spending quality time with your family, but let emails wait until morning, or check them at certain times of the day only. Allow your voicemail to take calls and employ autoresponder. Let technology work for you. Need to maximize the technology to work for you, and thus you have more time with your family, and then so you can like you ask me, and what is my salary advice? That is the time.
Absolutely. Can you give me an example of how technology works for you?
Actually, for example, for my working on the business, I use a lot of the dashboard. Dashboard for manage for all of the marketing, for the sales, for all of the teams.
What tool do you use for that? You said dashboard, but is there a specific tool?
I always use Buffer.
Buffer, okay.
I love it. I love that one a lot. And so we have a lot of, for the Slack, my team, we have on the IT platform, we manage for all of the project, for the program, all of the things. Actually, the one and you show me for the Calendly.
Yes.
I really love it. And I just know when you send to me, but I really love that one. Maybe next time I will try it.
It's been very good. It really helps. I think that point about letting technology work for you, if you use it in the right way, it resolves some of the time loss of back and forth. For Calendly, I already put in my schedule, so we don't need to talk about it anymore. I already told you when I am available. And it works great. So I think, Buffer, Calendly, there's probably 100 other tools like Slack and whatnot.
Yeah.
I suggest, I'm very much with you, everyone should be using these tools to help make their business more efficient.
Yes. And one of the last very important, my advice for everyone is form genius connection. It can be difficult to work alone, and you cannot work alone to be successful. So the connections you make will prove invaluable, and not only for the business. Find a mentor or create someone to support, create a support group for you. The support group will help you a lot.
Okay, so speaking of network, I hear that you have a space at Circo, is that correct?
Yes.
So you have a lot of options here in Ho Chi Minh City to choose office space, but you decided to go with Circo. Can you tell us why you chose to do that?
Circo is one of the things related to the co-working space, very nice for the startup. I choose because I think this is really good for the connections, but they help you a lot because they send the entrepreneur mindset. And sometimes you stuck something, so you can have the people next to you, can you ask and discuss. Maybe in life you don't know. Just maybe in that circle you can find the mentor for the people to co-founding together or something like that, or it's even as a customer for your business.
Okay. Who is the most interesting person you've met at Circo?
I met Hung and Lin a lot. So
Hung and Lin are the founders, some of the founders for Circo, right?
Yes.
So for the listeners, Lin would be Lin Huang from episode 13 of the podcast. So if you're interested in learning more about him, you can go listen to episode 13. Angelia, how can we keep in touch with you? Where would you like us to find you on social media or on your website or whatever it is you're most active on?
I think you can find me on Facebook.
So I'll put your links into the show notes for this, but if they don't see those, you can always search for Angelia Lei and they'll show up, right?
Sure.
Okay, so that's the end of the interview. I want to say thank you to Angelia Lei for sharing your story. And if there's anything at all, please let us know. And everyone who's listening, please get in touch and ask your own questions.
Thank you, Brian. Thank you for everyone. And have a good day.
Have a good day. Bye-bye.
Bye.